How did a single mom make $1 billion?
You know, if you're in Vietnam and want to know about business, actually, if you're anywhere and want to know about business, you might want to check out Tom Peng. He doesn't fuck around. Yeah, Tom Peng. He's A-okay. Peace.
Welcome to Tom Peng's Story Time. Today, I'm going to tell you a story about a single mom that made $1 billion in her lifetime. And she's still alive. She's still in this world today. And she's actually quite famous. And let's see if you can figure out who I am talking about, all right? So there is this girl that lives in Great Britain. So as a young girl, she always loved writing. She likes to think about fantasies, dragons, princesses, all the fantasy stuff. And then she would write it down as a story, right? She find a lot of enjoyment out of that because, she didn't come from a very good family. Her mom died early, when she was young, and her father did not have a very good relationship with her. So, she was alone and, her life was shit. So what she did was she spent her time thinking of fantasy things, dreaming of a different world, and she would write them down, right? So that's how she spent her childhood. And then she grew up and stuff happened, not important, but she met a young man in a bar. And they started talking, they liked each other. And then of course they had sex and they got married, and then they had a baby daughter. But this man that she married, not a good guy. He ran away. And so this woman now is living with a baby girl. So she became a single mom. So she has no skill set. She cannot do most of the jobs. And she was living on welfare. So she was living on government money. And her friends and relatives were helping her, paying the rent, paying for groceries, paying for food. She lived a very, very poor life with her baby daughter. And sometimes she has no food to eat because she has to save money to give her daughter enough food to eat. So sometimes she would stay hungry. So she has to take care of the baby daughter at home, can't really go to work. She relies on family and friends to give her a little bit of money to survive, relies on the government. It's a sad, sad story. For most people, their life is shit, they accept it, and that's the end, right? But she thought, well, what am I good at? I can write stories. When I was a kid, I wrote a lot of stories. So why don't I start writing again? So she started writing stories, right? And then she wrote chapter 1, she wrote chapter 2, and then she wrote chapter 3. And then she thought, hey, let me send that to a few publishers and see if they want to publish it, okay? And then, so she sent to one publisher, rejected, sent to another publisher, rejected, sent to another publisher, rejected. And the rejection letters, they were harsh. They were like, you should not be writing. They say things like, you should not be writing children's book. Nobody would read this shit, okay? That's what the rejections letters said. And, most people at this point would just give up. Fuck that shit. People tell me I can't do it. Okay, fine, I accept it. I can't do it. Let's go back living in poverty, okay? But no, she didn't give up. So what she did next was she sent the manuscript to more publishers. And she's probably sent to 100 publishers or more. Reject, 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 reject. Notice, she is playing the numbers game, right? She's playing the numbers game. The harder you work, the luckier you get. Play the numbers game. And one day she sent to this publisher. In the publishing companies, they have people that review the manuscripts. So they, read what people send in and they decide, hey, is this good or bad? Should we publish it? Should we buy the manuscript? And this woman got lucky because she sent to this publisher, and this publisher had a reviewer that saw the manuscript and actually read the manuscript to her daughter, the reviewer's daughter, right? And the reviewer's daughter is like, hey, I want to know more. What happened to this character? What happened to that? Because it's only chapter 3, 1, 2, 3. And then the story didn't finish. And then the daughter's like, I really want to know what happened, right? So the reviewer is like, hey, maybe we have something here. Maybe this is a good story, right? And then they decided to publish her book, the woman's book. So do you know who I'm talking about? And then what happened was, this book became very, 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 very popular, and I think there's like 9 books in the series. I don't really know the number. And then there are many books in the series, and then they even made movies out of those books. And the books and the movie series is called Harry Potter. And the woman that I'm talking about is J.K. Rowling, and you can all Google the stuff. Everything I say here is true. J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter's the series of books, and eventually those books became movies, and from that she got $1 billion from the sales commission. I think there's like 450 million books sold worldwide in different languages, and the movie deal. So she made a lot of money from doing that. But I want you to think about the hardship that she went through as a young single mom, as somebody that couldn't make any money, needed a lot of help. But she didn't give up. She just kept on writing. And the most important lesson here is that she kept sending publishing companies her manuscript. She did not give up. So when the publishing company sent her really harsh, response saying, things like, you can't write, this stuff nobody will read, she didn't give up because she had faith. She just continued on to send to more. Like, she was playing the numbers game, and most people would have stopped maybe at three publishing companies and said, oh, fuck it, I'll stop, right? She didn't. She went over 100, and she landed a book deal, and then she became who she is today. So I want you to think about your own life, right? So maybe you are working inside a company. Maybe your crazy boss gives you like these really difficult projects, right? And how quickly do you give up? Like, you try 1 time, you try 2 times, or even worse, even before you try, you give up already, right? I see this all the time, like even in my own companies, which is really, really sad, right? I'll tell you a story, and this is probably gonna make some of my marketing people sad, but I don't give a shit. Our website was extremely slow, right? And there's a tool called Google Insight. You can go to Google Insight, you type in the web address, and they will tell you how fast or slow your website is. And our website was like 9 out of 100, which means it's a piece of shit, right? Of course I said, you gotta improve this. You gotta get this up to 90, right? And guess what happened? Everybody's like, oh, it cannot be done. Nobody can do 90. And then people influence each other, and then like the whole team says it cannot be done, right? And I'm like, really? I've been doing software for the last 30 years. You can't fool me, right? Really? So I go to Google Insight and I type in another website, a similar competitor's website, right? They have 89 out of 100. I say, how come they can do it? How come they can do it? Oh yeah, because to do that you need 6 months. You need to do it over 6 months. I'm like, bullshit, man, bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. And then that's when the angry Tom comes out. It's like, fuck you. If you don't do this in 1 week, you're fucking fired, right? And guess what? It happened. People are motivated by fear. They are only motivated by threat and fear. They only do it when they run out of chances. Okay, they only do it as a last resort. They only do it when there's no more choice, right? Which is truly sad for humanity. Truly sad, because success is actually easy. Most people are shit. You just have to do a little bit more, then you can win the game, right? But most people don't do it. They give up before they try. And when they try, maybe they try 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and then they just go, I can't do it. I can't do it. And they give up, right? That's most people. That's why I keep on saying people is shit, I don't say it out of no reason. I say it because it's a fact. People are shit. Most people are just living their lives, expecting failure and then give up. So I'll tell you another story. Like, this is probably going to make my own employees uncomfortable, but I don't give a shit because I'm telling the truth here, right? So, we have this campaign to hire a lot of rural people because we want to put a lot of jobs in rural Vietnam, right? We want to hire a lot of salespeople, and the right place to go is rural Vietnam, because those people, we can give them meaningful jobs and we can help them make money, and they in turn will give us valuable service to the company. So this is a very important initiative in my company. And but first few times was not very successful. You know, we didn't reach the right people. The campaigns didn't work. You know, not too many people come to the conferences, and the team involved, right? The team involved, they're ready to give up. They're like, we don't know how to do this, right? When you say to yourself, I don't know how to do this, that means you already gave up, right? Remember, thought becomes reality, right? If you think I can't do this, you're fucking right. You can't do it. And when you can't do it, it is my cue to say, you should stop doing it, I'll find somebody else to replace you. So instead of thinking, I can't do it, what you should be thinking is, I will be able to do it. And there's actually a video in my channel called, What to Do When You Don't Know What to Do, right? Watch that video, right? Google the problem, ask somebody for advice. There are many things that you can do to find solution to your problem. Truly, success and failure is just whether you give up or not, right? And most times you're gonna fail. You're gonna try 100 different things and 98 of them will fail. And when you find those 2%, you will be successful, right? Just like J.K. Rowling, she contacted 100 publishing houses. Eventually, one of them said yes, right? And that changed her entire world, and also that changed the world, right? Everybody knows about Harry Potter, I hope. So the question is, do you have the tenacity? Will you keep trying? Or will you give up before you even try? Or will you give up after only a few tries? You tell me, what kind of person are you? Are you a quitter or are you a winner? There is no in between. Choose. Don't be a fucktard and take fucking action.